Now, thank you for your coming. It's really first time that we have an English seminar here at Gotanda. I'm so glad to have it because many people are asking me. Natural Plus is going to enter into many countries from now on. And why we don't have English seminar? They ask me. So I was hoping that I can have one someday. But today the first day that that we can have the English seminar. So now I got to start. At first, I want to introduce my friend, Mr. Bruce Guilfoyle. Let me read this one. Is it okay? Bruce came to Japan when he was in primary school with his family. When his father was transferred here to head up the branch office of an American company, he entered St. Mary's International School, where he stayed until he finished high school. After graduation, he went to the United States and attended Ripon College, a small private college in the state of Wisconsin. After graduating from college, Bruce returned to Japan and entered McCann Erickson Hakuhodo, the #1 foreign advertising agency in Japan at the time, and worked there as an account director. I was also working there when I met him. Bruce left McCann Erickson and joined Asatsu DK, Japan's #3 advertising firm, where he currently holds the position of Managing Director of International Client Service. Now I feel I should not talk too much. I better give, I better let him to talk right now. So would you please give a big welcome to Bruce Guilfoyle. Bruce.
I guess you've come here to learn something about the potential of the Naturally Plus opportunity. So we're going to cover that in today's presentation. Naturally Plus produces just two products. One of them is Super Lutang. The other one is Izumi, which is a hydrogen water product. These two products fall in the domain of health food supplements, and they reflect a trend in Japan today, which is a trend towards preventing illness, a trend towards protecting oneself from illness, not waiting until they get ill, but first looking to prevent getting ill. So I will begin the presentation with a look at the state of health in Japan. What is causing bad health and disease in Japan today? And what we can do to remain healthy. And within that, we'll take a look at how these two products are playing a role in preserving health. We'll also take a look at the times that we live in today. And we'll see how our affluence or our lack of affluence affects our health. Because if we're well off or we're not well off, it has a dramatic impact on our health. We'll also look at the factors that lead to increased affluence today in Japan and in the world. What are the factors that are causing people to become affluent? That's what we're going to take a look at today. And then we're going to take a look at the Naturally Plus business plan. So I should get started. So I said we were going to take a look at the state of health in Japan. This is just some information. 1 million people die every year in Japan. That's nothing, nothing unusual. 117 people die an hour. This is something to take a look at. Death from cancer, 320,000 a year. And this is the breakdown: lung cancer, stomach cancer, cancer of the large intestine, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, pancreatic cancer, and so on. So a lot of lifestyle-related disease. Yeah. Okay. Cerebral vascular system trouble. It's a lot of big words, but it means basically the blood flow within your brain, the trouble there. Pneumonia, liver failure, liver disease, diabetes. These are all, along with cancer, these are lifestyle-related diseases. The way we live, what we consume, are causing these kind of diseases. Now, this is another interesting fact. 26,000 to 43,000, was it, died in Japan during this year, due to medical malpractice. They went to the doctor and they died. In the United States, 90,000 people a year die from medical malpractice. So what we're saying is there's lifestyle diseases like cancer that are killing us, but that's not all. The doctors are killing us, which is quite interesting. In the United States, 100,000 people a year are hospitalized due to analgesics. These are painkillers. Yeah. Deaths caused by painkillers, 16,000 a year. And then there was an investigation of medical incidents, an investigation of 400 medical incidents that have occurred since 1995. They found that 74% of these were doctor errors, and 64% of these 74 resulted in death. And the causes of these incidents were limitations on their medical knowledge and techniques. So, what this says is, if you want to protect your health, and you think, well, I'm too busy to eat vegetables and fruits, and I don't have time to protect my health, but when I get sick, I'll go to the doctor. You have to think again, because if you go to the doctor, this is what could happen. It's not that simple. Get sick, I'll go to the doctor. Now, it's quite interesting. Doctors went on strike in 1976 in the United States and in Colombia. And all medical treatments were stopped for 52 hours, except for emergency treatment in these two towns. What do you think happened? Anybody guess? Yes, that's right. Bring that. Very smart. Akui-san, you are very smart. Yep. The death rate dropped in Colombia and in Los Angeles. So, those people were lucky. They didn't go to the doctor, and they stayed alive. Okay, so there's been a book published in Japan on the limits of medical treatment. Okay? So I talked a little bit before about Japan has finally embraced the trend towards preventive medicine. But the Germans are 15 years ahead. The Germans are 35 years ahead. The Americans are 20 years ahead of the Japanese. The Japanese right now, they're saying shikari, but the Japanese right now are starting to realize that they got to start doing something, start catching up. And these products from Naturally Plus reflect a company that is aware of this trend and aware of the trend towards preventative medicine, preventative foods, and so on. So, preventative medicine is the core of the next generation's medicine. And we should try to protect ourselves from getting ill. Did you know that more than 90% of the cause of disease is active oxygen? Who didn't know this? Do you have any idea of what active oxygen is? Can't take a guess? Okay. No, I wouldn't expect. First of all, the causes of active oxygen. Does anybody in this room smoke? Can you raise your hand? Nobody smokes. Okay, so you're not getting active oxygen from smoking. Does anybody use a cell phone? You all use a cell phone, okay. Any of you are exposed to ultraviolet rays? Everybody, right? Does anybody around it? Yeah? Nobody drinks, right? In this room, nobody drinks? Yeah. Okay, so most of us do most of these things. We might not all do this, but we're all breathing pollutants. Maybe some of us don't do this either. But there are a lot of things that are causing active oxygen in our bodies today. And what does active oxygen do? Active oxygen attacks these 60 trillion cells in our body. And when they attack these cells and they damage the cells, what happens is we get lifestyle diseases. So cataracts, cancer, diabetes, atopic dermatitis, skin disease, all these diseases are caused by active oxygen. And here's a list of diseases caused by active oxygen. All these different systems in our body and all the diseases, all caused, you never guessed this before, did you? But all these diseases have had a cause, which is active oxygen. Probably is some new learning for you. All right. So how do we get rid of active oxygen in our bodies? First, we are born with, we receive from our mother's womb, we receive 60% of what we need to push antioxidants, to push active oxygen out of our body. By the way, an antioxidant, this should be spelled with an I actually, but an antioxidant is something that does away with the active oxygen in your body. So I'm sure you've read products or you've seen magazine ads for skincare products that talk about antioxidants. All these companies, they realize that active oxygen is the cause of bad skin and wrinkles and freckles, and they realize that that's all caused by active oxygen. So all these cosmetic companies are studying antioxidants very aggressively. Now, while we receive 60% of the antioxidants that we need to rid our bodies of active oxygen, I mean, it's just so long that this is going to last. Once we're, a few days old or a week old, that's not going to be enough. We need to acquire something called carotenoids. We need to acquire carotenoids to rid our bodies of active oxygen. So acquired means since we cannot produce them in our own bodies, we have to get them from the outside. And the way we do it is we get it from the food that we eat. We get carotenoids. Now I'll explain what a carotenoid is in a minute. Okay, so this represents a carotenoid. And a carotenoid is an antioxidant. And all these represent active oxygen, which cause these diseases. So what carotenoids do is they form a barrier around our cells. And when active oxygen approaches, instead of the cell taking the hit, the carotenoids take the punishment. they absorb the punishment, and that is washed out of the body. So it protects the cells from being damaged. It doesn't protect them 100%, but in any case, it's better than having no protection. It's much better than having no protection. So that's what they do. They form a barrier around our cells and work to fight off the effects of antioxidants. Okay, now these are just some books and publications that have come out recently in the Japanese market, and they're talking about lutein, which is a carotenoid found in spinach. So lutein, it says multi-carotenoid, and this is cancer. And lutein again, so they're talking about the importance of carotenoids in your diet and how they fight against diseases, lifestyle diseases. Okay, so what is a carotenoid? Carotenoids are natural pigments. Natural pigments. The red in a tomato, that is a natural pigment. The yellow in a bell pepper, the yellow in corn, for example, the green in the yellow in broccoli. I'm sure when you were little boys and girls, your mom and dad said, you've got to eat vegetables that are from different colors. You got to eat carrots, you have to eat squash. Fruits, you need to eat bananas, you need to eat oranges. Our mom had a reason for that. She wasn't just crazy. She had a very good reason. And it's been known, probably it has been passed down for years and years, hundreds and thousands of years. Maybe they didn't have any medical knowledge, but they knew that colored vegetables and fruits were important. Now, when a tomato is in the sun, okay, the ultraviolet rays from the sun shine down on the tomato plant. And the stronger the sun is, the redder that tomato will get. That red is the natural pigment which protects the tomato plant. So that's why we take these natural pigments. Okay, humans and animals cannot produce carotenes within the body. And that's why we eat vegetables and fruits to get our carotenoids. Okay. So, what is the role of carotenoids? As I said before, it's to prevent oxidization. By forming a barrier around our cells, it protects the cells from oxidation. And this is a newspaper article that appeared on the importance of eating vegetables. Recently appeared in the Japanese press. Okay, the 5 important carotenoids. Do you all recognize these 5? Are there any new ones here? Yeah? Okay, well, lutein. Lutein is found in spinach and cabbage, for example. And lutein, it forms a barrier around cells in the area of the large intestine, the womb, the eyes, and it protects the cells there. Lycopene, which is found in tomato, in the red of the tomato, that helps to form a barrier around the cells in the vicinity of the liver, the kidneys, the bladder, mammary glands, prostate, and protect them from lifestyle diseases. It's quite interesting. In our eyes require lutein. Our eyes require lutein to function properly. Why is it that when we reach the age of 45, a lot of you aren't there yet, but why is it that a lot of you, when you get to 45 and 50, why is it that you have to go like this to see something? It's because the lens of your eye is no longer flexible. It's no longer flexible because the active oxygen has been working every day to destroy the cells in your eye. So what lutein does, the eye actually stores lutein. When you eat spinach, the lutein that you get out of spinach gets stored in your eye. And your eye uses that to help that lens become flexible, and to increase your eyesight and so on. So these are basically not stored in the body. We need to get them. Okay, and this is a newspaper article that appeared, this is something that appeared in the Yomiuri, and it says you need 5 plates of vegetables and 2 plates of fruits every day if you want to, be protecting your body. So how many of you out here eat 5 plates of vegetables every day?
How big is the plate?
Probably about that big. 5 plates and 2 plates of fruit. Yes? Huh?
Like a horse.
Like a horse. But this 5 and 2, this is apparently, this is what we need. You think she is eating 5 plates? Okay, now, however, I'm eating vegetables and fruits, but what research has uncovered is that the nutritional value of fruits and vegetables in 1956 compared to the year 2000 has tremendously grown. Tremendously grown. The spinach you're eating today ain't the spinach that you would have eaten 40 years ago. It's completely changed. And we'll take a closer look at it. If you take a look at spinach, the amount of vitamin A you got in 2001 compared to 1951 is only 8%. So imagine, if you wanted to get the same amount of vitamin A today that you got 50 years ago, you would have to eat more than 10 plates of spinach. But this is the fact, this is the truth. You need to eat more than 10 plates, and so on. So when I first saw this chart, this was very shocking for me. I was very surprised. I never expected. I thought my problem was I just didn't eat fruits and vegetables. But that was only the beginning. I could eat fruits and vegetables, but for that situation. So that brings us to a discussion of supplements. And food products to supplement the variety of nutrients lacking on a day-to-day basis. So companies, doctors, they know. They know what the lack of carotenoids. They know about active oxygen. They know that something has to be done to protect the human body against active oxygen. They know that we're not getting the fruit and vegetables we need every single day. So that's why supplements have been becoming more and more popular, more and more supplements coming out all the time. So, question, so why a lack of nutrients results? And why are supplements needed? First of all, in the old days, they would grow spinach here. And then the next year, they wouldn't grow anything there. They would grow spinach over here, or they would grow something else here. And they would rotate the soil, and they would leave it alone so that it could get enriched again. But no, today they have to make use of every little inch of soil that they have. They add chemical fertilizers. So does that make the soil really rich? No, poor soil. Agricultural chemicals, plastic house cultivation, accelerated harvesting. So these are all reasons why the fruits and vegetables today do not have the nutritional value that they did before. And what we do know is we eat our fruits and vegetables, but we're not getting the nutrition that we need. Okay, so there are a lot of supplements. How do you go about picking a supplement? First of all, one of the first considerations is we have to pick a supplement that can't be produced within the body. a nutrient that cannot be produced in the body. And also, nutrients that are lacking from our daily meals. I know there's a lot of people in this room that don't eat breakfast. Probably don't eat breakfast. Lunch is, I don't know, maybe a nikuman, or a bowl of, I don't know, bowl of ramen or some sandwiches from AM, PM. But that is not giving us the nutrition that we need. Okay. The supplements have been made of materials that are natural, materials that are not contaminated, they're fresh ingredients, and don't contain unnecessary matter, other beneficial ingredients, and so on. And that's this product here, Super-Lutein. Super-Lutein has a balance of carotenoids, and it's important to gain the nutrition that we need. It's important to take a good balance of carotenoids, and that is the situation with Super-Lutein. In one tablet of this is contained 24 milligrams of lutein, and to get the same amount of lutein from spinach, you have to eat 235 grams of spinach. So that just gives you an idea of the nutritional value of this particular supplement. Also for lycopene, in one tablet, this is the quantity of lycopene contained. You have to eat 93 grams of tomatoes. Super-Lutein happens to be the world's largest selling supplement. And it is made up of lutein, it is made up of high quality lutein. Lutein oxidizes very easily. When it's exposed to oxygen, it becomes oxidized. But the lutein that is in this product is not oxidized. And this is a very special patent that the company has. This is just one of the companies that produces material appearing in the product. Likewise for this is the Roche, part of the Roche group, that helps to process the product for putting into a capsule. This is a company that produces the cassis extract, which appears in Super-Lutein. And this is a company called Element Factory Company. This is in Japan, and this is the company that takes all the raw materials and ingredients and makes it into this Super-Lutein. And Naturally Plus, this company has the ISO 9001, which certifies that the company follows global standards in terms of production processes and quality of materials. Okay, so other ingredients in Super-Lutein. We already talked about these multi-carotenes. It also contains DHA. Does anybody know what DHA is? DHA is fish oil.
Something for the brain.
Huh?
Something for the brain.
Yeah, apparently, the fish oil, it helps stimulate the brain, get the brain working. It contains blueberry extract, cassis extract. Both of these contain high levels of antioxidants. Vitamin E, B1, B2, B6, B12. So it's a very balanced product. Okay, just recently, 2-3 months ago, the product was updated. It was improved, and a 6th carotenoid was added called quercetin, which is it is part of the fruit of the gardenia tree, from the gardenia flower. And by adding this carotenoid, what used to take 2 hours for these nutrients to enter the bloodstream, it now goes in 15 minutes. So it's quite a major improvement. And this is the bottle. Okay, and we're just going to take a look at some newspaper clippings about eye diseases today. And, you know, children in Japan having to wear glasses and having very poor vision. This is an interesting chart, but at the, when they are in, what is this, this is Chugaku?
Junior high school.
Yeah, so in junior high school, 50% have 1.0 vision. But once they get into high school, that drops dramatically and the vision gets worse. Atopy, which is a very common disease in Japan, apparently as a result of atopy or atopy-related, these are cataracts. Cataracts forming in younger people. Cataracts used to be an old disease in your 90s or 80s and 90s. But now, the incidence of atopic cataracts is growing quite a bit in Japan. And this just shows the incidence of cataracts. Once you're in your 90s, 100% of people are said to be getting cataracts. My mother just turned 88, and she just came back from a doctor's examination saying, "You have finally gotten your first cataract." So I quickly brought my mother a bottle of Subutex. Okay, and this is talking about another eye disease. I think it's myopia, and this is there are so many eye diseases. This particular disease is one where you lose your peripheral vision. Very, very frightening eye disease. This is talking about how, you know, the intense work with the computers is further hurting our vision. But anyway, it's clear. Our lifestyles are having a pretty big impact on our eyes, and that's why we need to protect our eyes. Okay, and so, so diseases, these are some of the diseases we talked before. Blindness in Japan. 16,000 people go blind annually. And, let's see that information, diabetes. 8 million to 10 million cases a year. And they go blind within 8 years of contracting this disease. That's pretty scary, isn't it? They experience kidney failure and gangrene within 10 years. In Japan, there are 10,000 people getting their legs cut off every year from this disease. So that's a good reason to be careful about our health, isn't it? Eye structure disease. So UV rays and blue lights are creating a lot of active oxygen, which is attacking our eyes and destroying our vision. Okay, and this is an article that appeared, and it talks about dogs that were given superlutein and experienced sight for the first time. Dogs. Okay, and this is just the Japanese Veterinary College recognizing that our pets and animals need nutrients as well as human beings, special nutrients. Okay, now we're taking our attention away from our eyes, and we're going to start giving some attention to our large intestine. Yeah, so I believe what this title says, that a lot of the diseases in our body are caused by the state of our large intestine. These are very, very shocking pictures, but the people who are not taking the right nutrients, the insides of their intestines become coated with old feces. They're not excreted. They're not excreted because they're oil-based. And this is a clean intestine. And so here you see a polyp which is formed on the intestines coated with old feces. So superlutein is oil-based, or there are a number of oil-based ingredients in superlutein which allows these old feces to be washed off and for our intestines to become clean. And these are excreted old feces. Apparently people are carrying around, what, 10 kilograms? 10 kilograms? 15 kilograms? Someone?
Someone.
Yeah.
Usually average maybe 2 to 3 kilos.
2 to 3 kilograms of unexcreted feces because they're stuck there, because they're oil-based. All right, now we're going to talk about hydrogen water, which is what Izumi is. There are articles appearing in the Japanese press about hydrogen water. Hydrogen is part of the makeup of the human body. So this is oxygen and carbon dioxide and hydrogen. And our DNA are joined by a hydrogen bond. The hydrogen is a very important part of the human body. Now, we will see a term called reducing and reduction when we talk about hydrogen water. Now, what is reduction in this case? It's the ability to remove oxygen. So we're saying, how large is the ability of the hydrogen in this product to remove oxygen? Special features of hydrogen: it's the smallest atom, the ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. I talked before about how superlutein forms a barrier around your cells. Forms a barrier, but this product cannot enter your blood-brain, cannot enter your brain for some reason. Hydrogen can. Hydrogen can go in and repair damage that is caused in your brain. It also goes through the cell membrane and reaches to the core DNA of the cell. So, active oxygen often breaks these bonds. But when we drink active hydrogen, these bonds get restored. So a cell that has been damaged and destroyed and killed comes back to life. So this isn't anti-aging anymore, it's reverse aging. Cells that have once stopped are back to life. So it's not anti-aging, it's going back. Okay, how many of you have heard about miracle water? Have you all heard about miracle waters? Okay. You have heard about miracle waters?
In France, Lourdes.
This one? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Lourdes, yeah. Okay. Well, apparently there's 5 major towns, places in the world where miracle water comes out. And we'll begin with the miracle water in Tlacote, Mexico. And this just talks to the improvements in medical conditions as a result of drinking the water of Tlacote. But this gentleman, he was stung by a scorpion, but he could start speaking normally after drinking the water. This lady had cancer of the uterus, but after drinking the water, the X-ray showed that the shadow of cancer had disappeared. Stomach cancer, he was told that he could be saved, but the cancer disappeared in 2 years. Miracle water, okay. So, also, nerve injury. I'm sorry, this should be Nordenau, Germany. But in Nordenau, Germany, this gentleman had a nerve injury. And he had to use a cane and could only walk for 100 meters. And in half a year, he could walk without the use of the cane. And she had ringing in her ears, and that disappeared after drinking this water. Coming back to Tlacote in Mexico, you guys all remember Magic Johnson, right? Magic Johnson had HIV, and he went to Tlacote to drink the water. And today, he is said to be free of the disease. So that's quite interesting. Okay. Now, what is Hita? What is that? A town or a prefecture? Hita. Hita. Is it a town or is it a prefecture? What is it? It's a town. It's a town. It's a town. Okay. So, so this talks about the effectualness of the Tenryou water from Hita. For atopic inflammation of the skin, symptoms disappeared completely for this girl, and she started drinking it from the age of 3. And this gentleman had diabetes, and his blood sugar level would be at 300 on an empty stomach, but 120 to 130 after drinking the water. And breast cancer. Now, this is a stunning chart. The improvements to one's medical condition by the water of Tlacote. This doesn't mean that 100% of AIDS cases were cured. What it means is that in 100% of the instances, the person's symptoms were improving. I mean, the symptoms were disappearing. AIDS, 100%, and so on. So, these figures reflect that the patient actually had to say that he was experiencing recovery. And the doctor's examination had to show that he was definitely on the way to recovery. And based on these being the case, we've got those figures. PPT stands for part per thousand. And Japanese researchers took samples of the water from these 4 regions, and they found that the water contained active hydrogen. In Lourdes, the water contained up to 550 parts per thousand of active hydrogen, and so on. So what about this? What about Izumio? How much does this have? It's got 3,006 times the amount of hydrogen that is in the Lady of Lourdes water, 3,600 times. So you have to either drink one of these or drink 3,000 drum cans full of water to get the same amount of hydrogen. And this contains 2 million parts per thousand of hydrogen content. And this product also was recently upgraded to increase the amount of hydrogen contained. So how does one go about choosing the hydrogen supplement? Well, first of all, the initial factor is how much deoxidation takes place with this hydrogen water. How much hydrogen is contained? Is the product safe? Does the hydrogen disappear a week after you buy it in the store? Or does it stay? And does it have quality production processes? Well, Izumio has built a factory in Tochigi. This is their latest factory. And there are all these very special production processes which it is made. Okay, we talked before about deoxidation levels. Rainwater contains 800 millivolts. Its oxidation strength is 800 millivolts. And tap water 600 millivolts, and mineral water, 200 millivolts. All these waters cause oxidation. So what that means is, if you take a cup of rainwater and you put in a nail, it's going to go rusty. Right? It's going to go rusty. So, because it causes oxidation. So, what that means is that this, if you put something in here, it's going to deoxidize it. So, what is the deoxidation of it? For Izumio, it's minus 700 millivolts. So, when you drink Izumio and that water enters into your body, it will deoxidize your body up to that level. And this is just talking about tap water. If you put a goldfish in a bowl of tap water, it's only going to live a couple hours. And nothing left though. And this says not all the mineral waters are good. Some mineral waters like these, they've been found to be worse than tap water. So just because it's called mineral water doesn't mean that it's healthy. This is something we talked about before. This is mineral water, and this is tap water, and this is Izumio. And this is what happens 1 week after you put paper clips into the water. As you can see, there's been no change because this water is deoxidizing. Okay, these are pictures taken at Our Lady of Lourdes. The first picture was a woman who was being bathed in the water at Our Lady of Lourdes. And this is the woman who apparently saw a vision of Mary, and Mary told her to dig in this spot. And she dug, and the water came out. This is the woman. And she was buried. And what, 200 years later? Yeah. 200 years later, her body, they dug up her body, and her body was perfectly preserved. And this is a woman who died more than 200 years ago. Nobody really understands why. But her body is at Lourdes today. And she's in the casket today. So she died of a disease. So unfortunately, she wasn't meant to get better. She herself. Yeah. All right, so millions of people are going to Lourdes every year to make a pilgrimage, but to drink the water. So actually, people who have diseases, they can book a hotel for a month in Lourdes, book a month. They can go to Our Lady of Lourdes every day, drink the water, take a bath, and try to get better. Or they can stay at home and just drink this. You know, if you're really rich and you're doing okay, then maybe you can go to Lourdes. Okay, these are just pictures of a woman who bathed her face with Izumio. And this is a friend of Hikaru-san Vac, who had a birthmark that disappeared after coating it with Izumio every day. This is a child with atopy. And this is after washing the face and coating the face with Izumio for some period of time. So. Okay. Are we still good? Does anybody want to take a break? Should we keep going? We keep going. Okay, a little bit longer. Okay. Naturally Plus. Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the company. Established in 1999. 38.3 billion yen in sales in 2006. That's one product. That's $383,000 in sales in 1 year of this one product. So it's quite a big amount. The headquarters is in Roppongi Zuni Garden. And last September, Naturally Plus pre-opened in Hong Kong. They're going to have their grand opening sometime this year. They're entering Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, Russia, Indonesia in 2008. And they have plans to enter into 120 countries. The last slide I showed had Taiwan in it as well. And this is a picture of headquarters in Hong Kong. And Super Lutang is doing some sponsorships. They're sponsoring the Yokohama Marinos uniform. And K1 Boxing. And Miss Universe. And they also appear on NHK. So the Kensho Maku. Sumo players, they walk around in a circle on the stage carrying this. It's very difficult to get on NHK. You got to be, totally accepted by the Japanese government and so on to do that. Okay, and this is just looking at some business publications that featured articles on excellent companies and fast-growing companies. This is Keizaikai, which appeared in 2003, 2004, 2005, 2007, and this year as well. They have been appearing as an excellent and fast-growing company. And these are publications that appeared in 2002. Yeah, also basically talking about excellent, fast-growing companies. In 2005, they had a ranking of the top 10 fastest growing companies in Japan, and Naturally Plus was in that list. So that's quite amazing. And these were a ranking list of, these are MLM companies, right? MLM companies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Not all companies?
Oh, and sales?
No, direct sales companies.
Yes.
Direct sales companies, okay, yeah. So, and we see that Naturally Plus was ranked number 3. This is 2005. Yakult was at number 1. I don't know if any of you know Yazuya, but so. So, Super Lutang, the health food supplement containing a balanced blend of nutrients. And Izumi, a hydrogen supplement, safest antioxidant according to the medical congress. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about keywords that define the times. Post-war, 1945, until 1990, which was the bursting of the economic bubble in Japan. This was a period known as a stable period and called the up escalator. Gross domestic product had a 50-fold increase. And after the bursting of the bubble to today, this is known as the period of the down escalator. It's a period of uncertainty, a lean period. That's the period that we're living in now. So, in this era, people depended on their country. The country's going to take care, the government is going to take care of me. Yeah? My company is going to give me a great pension, and they're going to take care of me my entire life. But everybody felt that. They felt that they could depend on the government and on their companies. Lifetime employment was an industrial age and regional societies. Little towns in Japan, they were very just self-fulfilling. But the period of uncertainty, what we see is that the wealthy continue to grow wealthy. The people who are not as wealthy continue to become not as wealthy. And they're starting to realize that we can't depend on the country to take care of us anymore, or the government. We've got to rely on ourselves. What can I do to help myself? Yeah? Lifetime employment, people know that this ain't the case anymore. So they're looking at, they're looking always how they can enhance their career. Some people are holding 2 jobs. And what is very clear is that we're now living in an information age, and it's a global society. I mean, we're buying from countries we didn't even know the names of. We're buying from all over the world. Okay, so as we talked at the beginning of today's seminar, the wage differential makes a health differential. So if you're making 10 million yen and 3 million yen a year, the difference is those who are making 3 million a year have 5 times the occurrence of diseases that people making 10 million a year have. So the degree of our affluence has a very strong impact on our health. And what we face is pressures on the family budget. The salary stays the same, but gas is going up, right? And prices of this and that are going up. Our pensions are being used to pay for things that we didn't originally expect to pay for. So that's what we're facing. Okay, who knows Robert Kiyosaki? Do you all know Robert Kiyosaki? Okay, so you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I guess? Yeah, okay. Well, Robert Kiyosaki also wrote a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. Did you read that?
Oh,
I
think so. I think it is.
Cash Flow Quadrant. We'll talk a little bit about that. In the Cash Flow Quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki said that there are basically 4 means of employment. The left side is characterized by you're getting paid by the hour. Okay? You're giving your labor and your time. You are working for money. This should be money. Okay? You're giving your labor, you're giving your time, and you're working to get paid. You're working to get money. You're working by the hour. In people here, so if you work for a company, if you're a salaryman, this is where you are. You're an employee. And okay, so if you have to sit in the office from 9:30 in the morning until 11 o'clock every day, that is definitely, you're being restricted and you have a lack of freedom. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah? So, okay, so take dentists, accountants, lawyers. They fall in here. They've got skills. Besides their labor and their time, they're also getting their skill. But the dentist, he's also there from 9:30 in the morning until 6:30. He's restricted. He's got a lack of freedom. If he goes to Hawaii for 1 week and he's not drilling on anybody's teeth, he's not getting paid, right? So these guys are all getting paid by the hour. Now, on the right-hand side, this is working by the hour, but the right-hand side is about setting up your own business, setting up a business which is characterized by having a network. And we talk about establishment of a system, a system of a network system of the people that you know. What characterizes the people who set up their own business is that the more successful one is here, the more freedom that is experienced. An example of this is a guy who sets up a McDonald's franchise, for example. McDonald's franchise. Once he gets that running, then he can go to Hawaii and go surfing, but the McDonald's is continuing to run, and he's getting paid. So, setting up businesses. Examples of these kind of businesses are franchises, network marketing, which is what we're talking about today, is an example. And investors, they're not working for money, but they're making money work for them. They're investing it so that the money provides an income. Yeah? The more successful one is here, the more freedom that is experienced. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take a look at past eras. Okay, now this is a pretty interesting section, so you can stay awake here. In 1903, Henry Ford established the Ford Automobile Manufacturing Company. It took him 25 years to achieve $1 billion in sales. But he still achieved $1 billion in sales. That's a lot of money for 1903. Okay, in 1975, we all know who that is. It took Bill Gates 10 years to achieve $1 billion. We all know who this is, don't we? Jeff Bezos. It took Jeff Bezos. I thought this was one. I thought this was 1 year. No? 4 years?
4 years.
4 years? Okay, so it took Jeff Bezos 4 years to achieve $1 billion. He is now selling $12 billion a year. And we take a look at these four sides, and what we want to say is that it's all about building an information network. Henry Ford built his own information network. So did Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. And Jeff Bezos has an organization that's covering the whole world. It's about building an information network today for gaining affluence. Okay, so if we were to return 15 years ago, what is that? 1995? 1998? 1998? If we were able to return to 1995. Okay, if we were able to return to 1995. The key words looking into the future would be, for the 21st century, would be, we've got to build an information network. People who are looking to the future, those are the key words. All right. Now let's talk a little about Naturally Plus. Would anybody like to take a break? Would you like to take a short break, 5-minute break? Okay, let's take a 5-minute break. Doesn't look like anybody wants to take a break. All right.
Sorry.
Let's continue. Why is this not available in the store? Why? This is Tsubaki Shiseido shampoo, #1 selling shampoo in Japan today. Okay, so the way Shiseido sells Tsubaki is first it brings it to wholesalers. And the wholesalers bring it to the retailers. And the retailers bring it to the consumer. So what's happening there? Distribution costs, right? So there's distribution costs until it gets to the consumer. But why does the consumer buy it? Because he sees it on TV. He sees it on TV. So this cost of the distribution and the advertising, 5 billion yen. 5 billion yen is being paid to these middlemen, and it's being paid to advertising agencies. And the question is, does that make us happy? Does that make us happy? Now,
Sorry, Bruce.
Yeah.
Is it like annual expense or what? The 5 million? 5 million.
Yes, it's an annual expense. Yeah, it's goju. And probably the big part of that figure is TV commercials. And probably, yeah, getting models and shooting those commercials. And the actual distribution cost is a lot lower. So, in the case of Naturally Plus and its products, there are no middlemen. And as you know, there are no TV commercials. There isn't any advertising. So, there isn't that cost. These margins and this advertising cost is returned to consumers who perform word of mouth on behalf of Naturally Plus. You know, the thing of the ability of one person to do word of mouth to a friend. I know my friend well, and I know what my friend's needs are, and so on. So I can tailor my communication to my friend. That's better than a TV commercial that has, one TV commercial has to be good for everybody. So that's what is meant here by, it's much more powerful. Word of mouth is much more powerful communication, and it's much more practical. In the case of Naturally Plus, 62% of their sales are returned to people who do word of mouth for their product. 62%. And this is, apparently this is one of the highest amounts in the industry. Okay, now let's take a look at cost breakdown between general companies like Shiseido and an MLM company like Naturally Plus. Profit, both want to make 15% profit. Administrative costs, offices and so on, both about 15%. Production cost. Since Naturally Plus is relying on, and all these MLM companies are relying on relationships to sell the product's got to be really, really good. It's got to be really good. So Naturally Plus, for example, will be investing 15% on production costs compared to 10% for a general company. Advertising and promotion cost is the difference. Marketing costs, which is basically distribution costs. This is money that's paid to retailers and wholesalers. This is what is returned. This is what is paid to people who choose to do word of mouth on behalf of this company. Okay. What does one do to buy the product? Well, first, one registers with Naturally Plus. And that registration form is sent to the company, and the product is delivered by Yamato Takyubin. Okay, and we try the product. And let's say that we love it, the product's great. So we contact our friend, and we do the commercial. We talk about the product. We advertise the product to our friend. If our friend is interested, then our friend will send the application to Naturally Plus, will register, and the product will be sent cash on delivery. So, this business is about using the product yourself for people who are interested in business opportunity. It's about using the product yourself. You want to use both, you want to use just one, but using the product yourself and informing others about the product. So, a couple things to remember. It's a word of mouth business, right? And it's also a direct sales business. We're not selling product to our friends. We're just telling them about the opportunity. It's the company that is selling the product to our friends. So there's direct sales and there's word of mouth. This is the application form that gets filled out. So, what does Naturally Plus work consist of? Very often with a lot of companies, I won't mention any names, but you're familiar with the different multi-level marketing companies. But you have to actually sell the product to your friends. You got to have inventory in your house. You have to have stock in your house. You got to deliver the product sometimes. You have to collect the money for the product. Sometimes you even have to take out loans to buy a certain amount of stock. And there's a monthly closing. If you don't sell this much by June 29th, then you start from zero again the next month. There's a monthly closing. There's a norm. You have to hit a certain level of sales each month to get a certain reward. And there's titles, diamonds, blue sapphires, and so on. But in the case of Naturally Plus, Naturally Plus doesn't have any of these. You don't sell to your friend. It's the company that sells to your friend. And you don't have to have stock. And you don't purchase on behalf of your friend, and etc. Naturally Plus is a membership mail order system. You need to be a member to buy your product from the company. So, everyone can participate in buying Naturally Plus's products and in the business. This company has a number of people who are 100 years old who are doing this business. Many people who are in their 90s doing this business. So anyone can participate. Nobody suffers. If you had to buy stock and put it in your room, the whole family suffers because you can't move. Your house is so small anyway, and you got product there, and you have to spend so much money. No. So you don't have to deliver the product and so on. So nobody suffers. The investment is very minimal. So no reason to suffer. And finally, you can decide how much you want to work and by when you want to earn that money. If you are a very aggressive dreamer, you're going to make your dream come true. You're going to work really hard to make a certain amount of money by a certain time. If you love your job, you're just crazy about accounting. You can't wait to go to the office to do accounting. If you're that kind of person, then maybe the only time you have to work on the business is in the evening or on the weekends. So it depends on what your needs are. But okay. So how much is Super Lieutenant? Well, one bottle contains 100 tablets, and they have an automatic delivery system, which people can choose. If when they register, they say, please deliver this product to my home every month, then there's nothing else that they need to fill out. It's going to be sent once a month to your home. Now let's look at a typical case. Someone registers on the 3rd of March, and what he pays is, if he chooses just to buy Super Lieutenant, so he pays 10,000 yen for Super Lieutenant. The tax, the delivery charge, there is a one-time registration fee of 3,000 yen. And once again, one has to be a member to buy this product from the company. So the total is 14,500 in the first month. Month number 2, the product is delivered automatically. Collect on delivery, so you pay the driver who brings the product to you. And it's delivered exactly 1 month later, and the total cost is such. During this month, you can choose between collect on delivery, or you can have it withdrawn from your bank account. These are some choices that you have. So, Izumio also comes 30 to a box, and it's 10,000 yen. All right, now, just to look at traditional marketing plans. For Naturally Plus is obviously different from this. For your traditional network marketing company or MLM company, you can have an unlimited number of affiliated recruits. Yeah. So probably this it's very possible that these affiliated recruits, they don't know each other. They don't know each other. They know you. You introduced them, but they don't know each other. And there's some meaning there. If you don't know each other, that means that you can't work together. So there's an unlimited number of affiliated recruits, but there are limits on how deep you can build your organization. There are limits. If your organization is really big, it could mean that you make a lot of money. So there are limits placed on how deep the legs are. And the sense is that only the very talented people can succeed at this kind of traditional MLM business. Here's a good question. How many recruits do you think you can produce? Maybe you don't know more than 1 or 2 or 3 people. It's very possible. So this is a very, very serious question. Okay. Naturally Plus has a binary auto system. And it's a plan that works with just two recruits. And in the binary auto system, you have basically a left side and you have a right side. If you introduce 2 recruits, then the computer decides where these people will be placed in your organization. And the computer has these 2 rules. A priority on placing people on your bottom left, and a priority to placing people on the side where there are fewer recruits. So let's say I introduce 2 people. So the first one, following that rule, the computer places him under my bottom left. The second person, bottom right. And let's say that the person I introduces okay. So in this particular binary auto system, there is a limit to the number of affiliated recruits that we have. We only have 2, one which comes under our bottom left and one which comes under our bottom right. However, there is unlimited depth to how far our legs go. Now, in this particular case, we notice 1 here, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. This is following this priority to the left rule. What this means here is number 3. Number 3, he's been too busy with his day job, maybe. He's been too busy. He hasn't been able to produce any recruits. So what's happened is the person who introduced this person, he is working, and his own introductions are coming in this way under the first person he introduced. Likewise, the second person that number 1 introduced, he looks like he's too busy too. Right now. Maybe next month he's going to be better. But right now he's busy. So number 1, this person must be really hardworking, really aggressive. Because this person has helped number 3, and this person has helped number 5. Now we take a look on the right side. That's why we say that the binary auto system is a system based on teamwork and helping each other out. Okay, so more information on what a binary auto system is. It's a simple plan that works with even just 2 recruits. Let's say that tonight you go home, yeah? And your mom and dad live in the same house. So you tell them, Mom and Dad, active oxygen is destroying your eyes, and you gotta drink, oxygen-reducing water, and you gotta have multi-carotenes. And your mom and dad says, and they decide to buy from you. And they decide to buy. And let's say you do nothing else. You register your mom and your dad, and you do no other work. April, May, June, and July. Your dad has bought a total of 4 bottles. Your mom has bought a total of 4 bottles. And this is one point about the Naturally Plus's business that you need to understand. Naturally Plus's first compensation comes when you have achieved a total of 4 bottles sold on your left and 4 bottles sold on your right. It's not so much bottles, but it's points that are given. Points are given to each bottle. It's 10,000 yen a piece, so 10,000 points. So Dad has collected a total of 40,000 points. Mom's collected a total of 40,000 points. So when you have this number of points on both your left and on your right, you get your first bonus, 5,000 yen. And that bonus that I just told you about is called the day cycle bonus. Now, just imagine your left side that we talked about before. Your left side and your right side below you. Think of them as point cards. Think of them as point cards. This should be Yonko the show. Okay. Okay, this should be 4. This is a 4. Affected by oxygen. So, but when you have 4 on your left and 4 on your right, we said before that you have reached the right number of points to get your first bonus, which is 5,000 yen. Okay, let's say that in the next month that, people introduce new recruits. Let's say 3 new bottles were purchased on your bottom left and 3 new were purchased on your bottom right. The addition of these additional 3 on both sides, which means you have a total of, this should be 7, 7, 7. You have a total of 7, 7 on your bottom left and bottom right. When you have that total, then you receive an additional 5,000 yen from the addition of these guys. Now, what this assumes is that the 4 people on your bottom left, the original 4 people on your bottom left and your bottom right, in the second month, they are also buying the product. On top of that, you've got new people buying the product. So you're entitled to these 2 bonuses. Is this easy to understand? Is it pretty clear? No questions? Okay. And so on. With each addition of new people buying superglutane, your points grow. So this is 40,000 points, total 70,000 points, 100,000 points. And let's just say it goes like this. Once you hit a total of 25 bottles sold on your left and 25 bottles sold on your right, then you have achieved what is called a full cycle. And when you achieve a full cycle, the company will pay you a 40,000 yen bonus on top of, it will pay you 40,000 in total. Once you achieve 25 on both sides, you are compensated with 40,000 yen. Okay, so the day cycle business, the day cycle bonus, and the fact that this is a business that is based on accumulation and teamwork, and that's why it's fun. So let's say that okay, let's say that in April you have introduced 10 persons, and those 10 persons, when they register, they sign up for automatic delivery every month. So assuming that those 10 people repeat the business, let's say that these 10 all introduce one person. So it's not just these 10, but it's an additional 10. And the next month, if they all repeat, there are 20 repeaters. Let's say they all introduce one person. So you got a total of 40. If they just introduce one person a month, each new person introduces just one a month. And if we get 40 people repeating, introducing another 40 people, then this is how your bonuses accumulate. Now, this chart is very, very interesting. And this is a chart that talks about the potential of this business. And what we're going to take a look at is when this person introduces just 2 people. What happens when each person just introduces 2 people? That's what we're going to take a look at. So I introduced 2 people. So we have a total of 3. And then in month number 3, these 2 introduce 2. So we've got 4 new. By month 12, his income is 2.4 million yen a month, monthly income. Okay? And this is what happens when everybody follows the rule of introducing 2 people. This is the potential income that can be made if this rule is followed, the rule of introducing 2 people. This is just one particular example. Now, it is very difficult for salarymen. When salarymen take a look at this, they're like, you're kidding me. Unbelievable. There's something wrong here. There's some cheating or some bad things going on. So salarymen, they can't understand why your income can grow like this. That's what we have learned. The other thing is very interesting. People who decide that, okay, I've got big dreams and I'm tired of sacrificing because I don't have enough money and I don't have enough time. I'm going to get my financial independence. And they give up everything and they commit everything to network marketing. Very often what happens is, when they get to month number 5 and number 6, they say, I've been slaving 7 days a week, but my income's not growing. And this is where they quit. They quit right around here. And this is, we know this at Naturally Plus. We know that this to be the case. Most people are quitting here. They do not realize that if this continues, their income can grow like this. So these are important things to understand. That this business is driven by sort of an exponential factor. And when you can understand how this works and understand the income potential, then my goodness, you've got a very strong motivation to work hard. So the question, any conditions for earning income? I mean, are the conditions for earning an income the same for everybody? Not so. People who have only introduced one recruit, the maximum amount of money that they can make in one day is 20,000 yen, which is 600,000 yen a month, right? Someone who's introduced two recruits, the maximum amount they can make in one day is 40,000 yen. And people who introduce 3 or more recruits, they can have a maximum income of 80,000 yen a day. So the maximum income, so someone who's introduced 3 or more recruits, and this person earns, let's say he earns $80,000, 80,000 yen, 80,000 yen a day for 30 days, comes out to a monthly income of 2.4 million yen. Okay, is there any other compensation that Naturally Plus provides? And this is an example. There is a compensation known as a leadership bonus. Now, let's say there's the case where I have introduced only one person, and this person introduces, well, this person's network reaches a full cycle, which is 25 on the left and 25 on the right. He will receive 40,000 yen. And normally I would not receive any income because I don't have anybody on this side. Normally I wouldn't receive any income. But the company pays me this leadership bonus of 25% of this 40,000 yen, so 10,000 yen, simply because of I introduced this person. So it's not just only building our network properly, but it also is compensation based on people that we've introduced, like in the case where I introduced this one person. Simply because of I introduced this person. So it's not just only building our network properly, but it also is compensation based on people that we've introduced, like in the case where I introduced this one person. So, looking at this leadership bonus, if he makes 1,000,000 yen in 1 month, then I will get 250,000 yen from the company paid to me as a leadership bonus. All right, any other associated compensation? There's something called the frontier bonus, which we can consider as a commission. It's a bonus paid to people who have introduced 10 people. And there's no limit on how long, there's no limit on time. If it takes you 2 years or 5 years, one week, doesn't matter. Once you've introduced 10 people, you will be paid a frontier bonus. The frontier bonus is 1% of Naturally Plus's total income. So if the income was 383 billion for 1 year, that 1% of that is split among the people who have introduced more than 10 persons. If you've introduced 30, you've got 3 shares. 3 shares of this 1%. And those, so the day day cycle bonus, the leadership bonus, and the frontier bonus, these are the main bonuses with Naturally Plus. There are others, but we won't go into those today. Okay, this is just a This is a chart that talks about the global expansion for Naturally Plus. What flag is this? Is this Malaysia? Don't want to make a mistake. It's Malaysia, huh? So Malaysia and Australia. All right. Now we're taking a look at times again, at the times today, the times that we are living in. When you work for a company, okay, you work for a company, let's say you join as a salary, you join right out of college. During this period, your workload is kind of limited. But your income is always the same. So when you join the company, you're making a pretty good salary, considering the work that you have to do, which is not so much. So the income for the work that you're doing is a good match. It's a good match. But as you get older and you get more responsibilities and you have to do more and more work, then your workload just goes up and your salary doesn't change. So what happens is people suffer dissatisfaction and stress. And the characteristics of this, people repeat the cycle of job changing and going into, they quit, I'm dissatisfied, I got a lot of stress, I'm going to join a new company. And they join a new company, that doesn't work, they say, okay, I'm going to set up my own business. They try that, that doesn't work. They go back and join the company again. So these are, it's just, this cycle happens, they change, that seems to be what characterizes working for a company. For an annuity income, an annuity income from a network, we talked about the cash flow quadrant, the right-hand side being the side of setting up your own network or your own organization. Annuity, we all know what annuity means, right? Annuity means at a certain time each month you're paid an income. So it's something that's like a pension that comes in. So in this particular case, your workload, over here the workload went like this. But in this particular business, your workload every day is just about the same. You know what your objective is, you know how many people you have to sign up. So you decide that each day you're going to talk to 20 people or 30 people. But your workload is basically the same. In the beginning, as you're setting up your network, and you have very few people who are buying your product in the beginning, your income is low. Even though you're working this hard, your income is low. And over a period of time, as you invest your work, your income starts to rise. And that takes us back to the chart we saw before about introducing 2 people each time. So at this point, the income for the work that you're doing doesn't comparatively match. Once you get here, it's not stress, but it's joy and happiness. And the characteristics of this particular income, it takes a little while for the income to come in. Now, this is quite an interesting chart. Harvard Business School has announced that by 2010, MLM will account for all distribution. Sano-san, is this correct? Account for a certain percentage of distribution? Itabu-san?
60%.
60%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. by 2010, multi-level marketing, which is what Naturally Plus is, multi-level marketing will account for 60% of distribution of all products. Isn't that amazing? That's really amazing. The potential of membership-based network marketing. Waseda University is now offering special lectures on MLA. The professors of Keio Hitotsubashi and other top colleges in Japan, they're paying close attention to this phenomenon. Toyota, Suntory, Yamaha, other companies, they've entered the health food, they've entered this field. And these are all big companies that are doing network business, multi-level marketing business. And this is a Japanese congressman who has written a book on network marketing, network business. You know that as of last year, 2007, this is the Dankai no Sedai, and baby boomers era, and millions of people retiring. So there are a lot of articles and discussions about what to do after retirement. What are our options for working after retirement? Seven million people from the baby boomer generation left their companies, will be leaving their companies as of 2007. And the average savings of someone in their 50s is 1,600 yen, 16 million yen. And the life expectancy of Japanese after the age of 60, 20 for men and 27 for women. So men are going to live to 80 and women until 87. It has been researched that we will need approximately 270,000 yen a month for males for living expenses, and 350,000 yen a month for ladies for living expenses. If we multiply those monthly expenses by the expected number of years, these are the figures we come out to. Actually, this should be 27, so this is more like 100 million yen. And these people were asked, can you rely on your pension that you've been paying for more than 25 years? 79% of the people said no. And do you think you'll have a wealthier life after retirement? Only 2.9% said they'd become wealthier. And 64.2% said their lifestyles would start going down. This is pretty important to think about. All right, so what are some of the things that we want to do away with? We want to do away with lifestyle-related diseases, cancer, kidney failure. We want to do away with this having no money in our pockets, right? And in Naturally Plus, there are a lot of people who are achieving big dreams through Naturally Plus. There are a number of people who are doing foster parent work, doing very big social contributions as a result of the money that they have earned from doing this business. Here's just a look at some of the charitable work done by Naturally Plus. Sponsor training for guide dogs. Quite a lot of activities here. It's an organization that is very socially conscious. Guide dogs. Protecting forests. That was Myanmar. And where is this? This is Myanmar. This is a well that was installed by someone in this company, Naturally Plus, as a contribution. Huh? Oh, someone who you know, right? Did you see this? Yeah. Yeah. She did that. Yeah. I don't know what this says. It's Itaru-san, what does this say? What does this say? You wrote this.
I can't.
You wrote this. We have a number of artists in our company, and that's it. That's it for today's presentation.
Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much for your attention. And it's really first time, so we have to, of course, improve. How to do this kind of seminar. And we have another person in not in Tokyo, so maybe in the future we can join, with her, and we will make another seminar, and we will try to improve. Now I have been telling him, I have told him about the possibility of the J class. At first time he was not interested in at all. He was not. It was not just a timing.
I was like, what? She's calling me again.
But after that, I wasn't forcing. I was just sharing the information time to time. When people for example, they are very, very busy with their business, or they don't have any difficulty in their lives, they don't intend to do any new job, right? They don't have to do anything. But we don't know what will happen to us. So we just continue to tell them the good news. Then I think when it comes, sometimes at the time, they will notice, they will find, they can have some way to do it. So that's why I was telling him. I'm glad that now he knows the good opportunity and the possibility, and he has been really studying the network marketing. And now he knows, and it's very good. So I'm glad that I can work with him.
In my case, 2 years ago, I took my oldest son to put him in college in New York. I took him to college. And he was
That's Sandy, right?
actually,
It's his son.
I'm the son.
yeah. And Sandy was sleeping next to me in the bed, and I was thinking, it's going to cost me 5 million yen a year for one son. And 2 years later, my second son was going to go to college in America also. So it meant I needed to have 10 million yen just to pay for college for 2 sons. So I thought, I have to do something different. So when he was sleeping next to me, I started reading these books, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I started buying all these books. And whenever I read the books, it says, if you want to become more affluent and make more money, you have to learn, you have to read about making money and wealth. You have to learn about it. You have to focus on it. And I was reading the books, and then I read the Cash Flow Quadrant, which we talked about today. And in that book, Robert Kiyosaki said that, why spend all your time working for a company when you're not going to get rewarded for the effort that you have put in? And in the same book, he says network marketing is a fabulous choice of work to do. So when I read that, I made a decision 2 years ago. I shouldn't be working for a company. I should be doing network marketing. And actually, I'm leaving my advertising agency at the end of August, and I have committed full-time to network marketing. I know it's going to be hard in the beginning. It's going to be tough to get up, but I'm going to go there. I'm determined. I made a decision. I'm going to get there. So I'm looking very much forward to hard work together with you. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you very much.
Any questions?
Can I add something
Yeah, sure.
to this? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Of course you can.
Okay.
Yes, Sandy is really good at talking
Hi,
about it.
yes, my dad. I'm Sandy. Nice to meet you. First time he showed me this, I was like, what is this pill? Like, is this gonna work or something? And then I saw him 5 months later, and then I was like, oh, there's something wrong. I was like, he looks different. And he looks so much younger. And then I was like, what's going on? Like, Dad, like, are you like doing like some like kid like the kishosui, like like cosmetics or something? Like I didn't think that, but I was like, wow. And then I thought that was just like a coincidence. But then my grandmother started taking this too, and 3 months later I went to see her, and she looks so much younger. And I was so surprised. Like, I'm not even joking. I told you this, right? And then I was just like, what is this pill? And what is this water? I was like, wow, like, that's crazy. Because I saw this happening in front of my eyes. Like, I'm 21, and my grandma's 70, and my dad's like 55. And then he was actually looking younger, you know? So that kind of scared me. I was like, wow, what is this? Like, seriously, it got me excited. I was like, whoa. Like, I don't know. And I've never really been into this kind of stuff, but when I saw that, I was just like, okay. And then I play basketball, so I'm a big fan of Magic Johnson and stuff. And I heard about him taking this, and just, there's something about this that really attracts my attention too, so, you know, it's cool.
Are you going for it right now?
Excuse me?
Are you also joined the Nutrate Plus right now?
I take it once in a while, because I can't.
Just stealing your dad.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I still does. Because I can't really afford it yet, but yeah, I'm trying to get into it too a little bit.
Thanks, Eddie.
You can be a good addition. Thank you.
How many pills do we need to take a day?
One after each meal, so basically 3 a day. Yeah. There's 100 in here, so divided by 30 days. It's basically, some days you drink 4, and some days you drink 3. And
How much is it
this is, they're both 10,000 yen each. This product is 10,000, and this is 10,000.
For the first time, it should be 25 or 24 because we have tax and delivery.
Oh,
For the
yeah.
first time.
When this product is, when you join for the first time, you pay 10,000 yen for this product. There's also consumption tax, 500 yen. And then there's a delivery charge and a handling charge, which is 1,000 yen. And then you also have to pay a registration fee, a one-time registration fee of 3,000 yen. So the total is 14,500 yen. 14,500 for the first time. And then each month, yeah, I'm sorry.
And it's still 10,000. So
Same-
10,000
yeah.
plus 14.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so 25.
10,000 plus 500 yen for tax,
Oh,
plus
okay.
1,000 yen for handling and shipping, because it comes in a different box.
All right.
But you don't pay 3,000 registration fee for both products. You pay just one 3,000 yen fee.
Okay, so for the first time, it should be how much?
It'll be 14,500 plus 11,500.
So we're 25.
So 26,000 yen total for the first month. In the second month, the total cost will be 23,000 yen.
Okay. Okay. How about the delivery? It's worldwide or?
No, it's only in Japan.
So that means that if I leave Japan, I cannot have it anymore.
Until it enters your country. So if you're in Côte d'Ivoire, you might have to wait a few years. But I don't know if you have a friend living in a country near you where this product has been delivered, who knows?
Maybe I will manage with
Maybe you'll manage with Samsung, yeah. Yeah. You're welcome.
Can I give it to my children as well?
Yeah,
Of
of course you can.
Even the tablets?
Yes. And people are giving this to their dogs
Okay.
as well. Really. Did you give it after lunch? No?
Yes, but without the dog and children are children, so I
Yeah.
want to be careful with my kids. That's why I asked me.
Yeah, they're given to children as well.
How many tablets?
For the children?
Yes.
There's
It
no,
was my first one. Yes.
Maybe less than 3. Maybe when they're younger,
Yeah.
maybe 2 a day. Usually for the adult, 3 to 4 a day. Small to
Does it have to be after meals when you take the pills? Actually, I just take it like anytime I like during the day.
well, I think that's kind of your own sort of decision. Because we all know that we're all used to being told by doctors
Right.
to eat your meal first and then take the tablets. But I don't know. I usually get my breakfast ready and then I drink this, hoping to get the nutrients quickly, and then I eat my breakfast.
So
So,
cannot take it on empty stomach?
well, I do. What do you think, Samuel-san?
What's your name?
Drinking this product on an empty stomach before meals?
I never had that problem. Usually when you take some medicine, it's not really good for your stomach, right? But I never had that problem with that product.
Because sometimes I don't take breakfast and I don't eat.
I understand.
It's,
But between the middle, I sometimes take it. But even when I'm hungry and I take it, no problem. I don't know it because that is not the medicine. That's the food.
Yeah, it is not a medicine. It's a food product. So,
I have another question
Sure.
for Izumio. Of course, like, if it's from the, how you call that? The hydrogen is like 2 million PVT for Izumio, but considering like the original source, I'm not saying original source, but those water in the Torakote or some other places, they have like 5,000 or 200, 500, 800. So like of course, like it's already through all the research. Is there any, like, how to say, like, if you take like 2 million, is there something that it's too much or
No problem. Because when you how do you say, the amount more than enough. We just
all right, yeah,
it takes 30 minutes for the hydrogen to travel in your body.
right.
And after 30 minutes, whatever is not used comes out of the bottle.
Okay, so it's more on the mechanism of how hydrogen actually works in our body, right?
But you mentioned once like the hydrogen is like it gets to your brain, right?
Right.
And I heard that if you take a lot of hydrogen, you can like hallucinate because of that. So, what's your comments? about
Have you heard those that people who have taken too much hydrogen, they have hallucinations.
Yes, because it kind of like stores in your brain like that.
Yeah, there's just some we just did some research. We just want to know more so we can give a better presentation as well. So we just hit into that point and we just want to know. Is there something like? has
I
been
think
done
it
in this?
depends on the what kind of hydrogen.
Mm.
You know, because the things we had before was the how do you say? The juices, alkali,
Oh, yeah.
you know, but this is a juice.
Alkaline based and.
The way of making that hydrogen water was different. Was different from us.
Mm.
And those things,
There are actually-
7.4 pH.
pH for this is meal.
pH.
Yeah, pH is 7.0, which is really good for our body.
It's
Yeah.
natural, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
natural, right? Natural.
Yeah, but there have been some hydrogen products that have been shown.
そう作り方説明作り方が違うものはすごくねアルカリ性に傾いてるアルカリ性に傾いてるのを飲むと内臓が溶けてくるんですよ。
Yeah, so what she's saying is that a lot of the products are alkaline based, and what it does is it kind of dissolves your membranes and your insides. So that's why what you're doing right now is studying to make to understand the product is important. It's important.
Because I did a lot of study when I just started, not only about the market marketing, but also the product itself, like
Sure,
all the
sure.
lutein or
Yeah.
B-carotene and everything, and just study on it. But Izumi I just started recently because,
Mhm.
but I'm interested to try it out as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anybody else?
I have
Yes.
You mentioned that in year 2008 you are going to go to Malaysia or Indonesia, right?
Right.
And there's one problem that I'm concerned. When I look at the ingredients, it's said that you have gelatin in it. But what I know about gelatin is it's made out of pork, like pig's bone in Japan.
Mhm.
So if you want to go to Malaysia or Indonesia where like 80% of the
Sure.
is Muslim, so
Mhm.
how are you going to do that?
Well, the product is this is sold in Taiwan, okay? Is this sold in Hong Kong as well?
Yes.
But depending on the country, the plan is to introduce just this for the beginning, is that correct?
というよりも、there are so many people because of the religion, they cannot eat some meat or things. So the company, Natural Press was thinking, that's why they made
Izumia.
Izumia.
Okay.
This contains DHA, which is fish oil. So a lot of people are saying, well, we're vegetarians. We can't take DHA. So,
And they asked the company to remove DHA. But if we remove DHA, the thing will be very different, not effective.
so since they made a decision to go worldwide, go global and enter into 127 countries, they did need to have a product that would not be a problem. So that's why they came up with this one. But this can represent problems with some countries.
Well, like if considering the business opportunity, like in Indonesia, 80% of the populations are Muslims, and in Malaysia it's like 60% are Muslim. So this, of course, if you look from a business point of view,
Yes.
super local is
I'm glad you raised the questions tonight because tomorrow I'm going to try to find those answers because I'm interested in going to Malaysia myself. I have friends in Malaysia and I want them to buy the products. So let's find out.
So is there something?
We'll give you that information.
Sorry?
Once we find out about it,
Yes.
we'll let you know.
And there's one more thing, like if you want to go to Indonesia as well, there's one institute that kind of look at that. So yes, I think it's kind of difficult if you will put that. I mean, if the Izumia is okay, but the multi-vitamin is
Well,
kind of difficult.
I'll tell you. In Roppongi, the headquarters in Roppongi, the lights are burning very late at night because they want to go into Indonesia, they want to go into 127 countries. But that's what they're doing now. They're studying the laws, the regulations of these countries. They've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work. until they clear those hurdles. So I'm sure they are aware of those that they have to clear. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Anybody else?
Is there any plan like to release another product in the next, let's say, 5 years at the moment? No, right. I mean, actually, personally, I prefer to have a company that sell a little bit stuff, but okay.
No, we don't know. But I heard on June 15th, there is some really big, good news which was, announced.
Oh, that
I'm
means
sure
they
you're
study
coming.
more.
Yeah.
I don't want.
So please
Study
come,
more,
please
right.
come and find the good news. So anyway, thank you very much for your coming.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Very beautiful presentation.
And actually, this presentation is Mr. Ito's presentation. He did all the hard work, so